Hello everyone, my name is Eddie Ferguson and I am with Ferguson Motorcoach and RV Services. Now, I know that most service organizations don't necessarily have an origin story, but I think it's important to share who and what we are so that you have a better understanding of the level of service that we provide and why we provide it and how we got here in the first place. So to begin with, I'm in my mid 50s. I was in the Air Force for 23 years. I worked on aircraft for some time and then cross-trained into a bunch of different jobs. I was enlisted for 23 years. And I did some pretty cool and amazing stuff while I was in there. And then when I was getting ready to retire, I really set myself some personal and educational and career goals that I wanted to accomplish. And I did. I took 13 years after I retired from the Air Force, and I was able to reach my educational goals. I got a master's degree, I have a couple of bachelor's degrees, and at least 2 associate's degrees. And I did all that in the last couple of years. Well, most of that before I retired, but I did my master's after I retired. And then I had some career goals that I really wanted to achieve. And I achieved quite a bit of the things that I wanted to. But, everything that I had accomplished was really my own power, my own will and my own desires. And it wasn't really in line with what I should have been doing. So we're a Christian family here, and I do believe in following what you're supposed to be doing according to God's plan. And clearly all the stuff I had been doing before was my own efforts. So it's, it's May now in 2026. And I'll tell you, about 8 months ago, God really started dealing with me about where I was at and what I was doing, and I really felt like I was just kind of going around with no purpose in life. And a friend of mine sent me this reel, had to do with the parable of the talents. If you don't know about the parable of the talents in the Bible, definitely go look it up. Short version is that, God gives everybody talents. And before I get there, look, there's a lot of interpretations and a lot of different ways to take all the parables. But this is, applicable to me and my story. So God gives everybody talents. Some people bury their talents. Some people just kind of invest their talents a little bit. And some people really get into it and invest heavily and lean into the talents. And I had clearly, not been investing in the talents that God gave me for a long time, and everything that I'd done was pretty much my own efforts. And it was funny. I got that reel. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It must be for somebody else because, again, I'm still doing pretty good. I had a good tech job. I was working in cybersecurity for many, many years and doing fairly well with it. Had a good corporate job, and everything was stable. Of course, AI is taking over everything, so the job markets are certainly changing there, but that's beside the point. So I got that reel, I sent it to a couple of friends, and then I started getting various reels and messages about the parable of the talents on like a weekly basis, and then a daily basis, and then sometimes 2 or 3 times a day I would get this parable sent to me in various formats. So I really had to take a long, hard look about what I was doing. At the same time, I was under an incredible amount of really unusual stress at work. It was nothing at work, but it was just stress. And it was all derived from work. I know that sounds crazy, but you can get into a spot where you're like, I am not where I'm supposed to be, and it starts really, really affecting you health-wise. And I went to the emergency room. I thought I had a heart attack, and the doctor, after hours of testing, he was like, "Well, Eddie, I wish I was this healthy. I don't know what to tell you. You've just got too much stress going on in your life. And so, I had a lot of things going on between the stress and knowing that I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So that Friday, I had been doing a lot of praying and everything else over the week. And that Friday, man, I told my wife, I was like, hey, we're going in a different direction. I'm going to quit what I'm doing and we're going to do something completely different. And she was like, oh, okay. 6 months from now, a year from now, what are you looking at? And I was like, no, I'm going to quit my job Monday, and we're going in a different direction. And clearly, that and understandably, she was quite upset about it. And we talked about it and prayed about it and a lot of things. And I started just saying, all right, God, give me the direction I'm supposed to go. And long story short, because I know this video is running a little bit longer than I wanted it to, I ended up at the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas, and I now have my own mobile RV business. Totally, completely different than working in technology and everything else, but it was quite honestly the most direct inline thing to my talents that God gave me. I like fixing things. I like getting people back on the road. I love helping people. I love serving. Obviously, I served in the military for 23 years, and I love doing the types of things that I'm doing now. So I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm using my talents. We've been fairly well blessed so far in the just short time that we've been in business. This is our first year, and I really feel like we're going in the right direction. I'm already able to help people. We're giving back to the community. We give part of our money to the Houston area food bank and a couple of other veteran service type organizations, and that's kind of who we are. I like fixing things. I like helping people. I like getting people out of a bind and getting them back to doing the fun things that they're supposed to be doing in life. I like serving my God. I love taking care of my family, and this whole venture allows me to do every bit of that. So that's us in a nutshell. That's our origin story. That's Ferguson Motorcoach and RV Services, and we look forward to serving you, quite honestly. So I'm super happy every day when I get up and I have an opportunity to do things. Every time that phone rings, every time I get a text message or an email, I pray and thank God, because it's just manna from heaven, and it's another opportunity for me to get out there and do what I'm supposed to be doing and serving people and helping people. So if I show up with a smile on my face to work on your toilet or work on your roof or work on your air conditioning or work on any of the things that we do really well, it's because I'm truly grateful to have the opportunity to do what I'm supposed to be doing. So thanks again. I know it's been a little bit of a long video, but that's who we are, and I really look forward to helping you out. Have a great day.